what it is like to want to give up, or maybe you already have given up. Maybe you're telling yourself that you have absolutely no motivation to lose weight, but there's still a spark in you who wants to do it. Obviously, there must be something in you that still has the dream alive of solving this problem with food, with your eating, with your relationship with food, with your weight. There's still something in you that you want to get normal with food. You want to get to your goal weight. You want to look your best. And how can you know this for certain 100%? Because you're listening to my voice right now. So obviously you have not totally given up. But I am here to share with you today, never, ever, 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 ever give up on your weight loss dream, your weight loss goal, your weight loss desire. And I'm going to share with you why. Welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. Today is episode number 609. The topic, never give up on your weight loss desire. Hello, welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. I am JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach. I am the founder of the Inner Self Diet. And that might sound kind of funny because who in the world wants to lose weight on the inside, right? You want to lose weight on the outside so that you look great in that little black dress, in your jeans, on the beach. You want to look great, right? But here's the thing. There is a universal law that all of us live under. Actually, there's more than one universal law, but one of the universal laws that all of us live under is the inner and the outer always match. So, when you're thinking fat thoughts, when you have fat beliefs, when you're feeling fat emotions, then you're going to have fat behaviors. All right. So if you're down on yourself, if you're feeling bad, and if you're an emotional eater or a binge eater or a compulsive overeater or a mindless eater or a late night snacker, then when you feel bad, what do? And when you're thinking bad, what do? Right? You go and eat to try to feel better. Food is your go-to. And food is easy. Let's get real. Food is easy. But if you do the work to get the right mindset, then you have a thin mindset. You have thin thoughts. You have thin beliefs. And then you're feeling thin emotions. All right? And then what happens? You have thin behaviors. And why is this so important? Because if you stay fat on the inside and then you just force yourself to diet on the outside, but all along on the inside, you're still down on yourself, you hate the whole process of eating clean or changing your eating or quote unquote giving up your food, you feel restricted, you feel like you're missing out. This is all a part of a fat mindset, okay? You have to become thin within in order to lose weight on the outside and keep it off. The inner and the outer always match. This is also why most who win the lottery lose all of it within 1 or 2 years. Why is that? Because if you win the lottery and you're poor, you're struggling with money, you have a bad relationship with money, and then you win the lottery, on the inside, you have a bad relationship with money. You're poor. You are a match to being poor on the outside. So the inner and the outer always match. You have to match those up. What most are doing with their weight is they are going for another food diet, which makes sense because you think the problem is your weight and the solution is a food diet, right? And hey, food diets can work, especially if they're healthy. They can definitely work if you work them. But what happens is if you're not thin on the inside, you either won't get going or you won't stay going or you won't allow yourself to get all the way to your goal weight because you're not a match on the inside. Your fears, your worries, your self-doubts, your lack of confidence, your belief that you're not good enough or that you don't deserve to be thin, that you're not worth the time, you're not worth the effort, that you should be only giving time to anyone else in your life except yourself, that you should come last. And a lot of the time, these thoughts are unconscious, which is an even bigger problem because then how in the world do you get out of your own way when you can't even see your own blind spots? All right? Is any of this making sense? The inner and the outer always match. So I want to share with you today why you should never, ever, ever give up on your weight loss desire. First, though, if you want to get my 10-step cheat sheet to give you a good overview on this topic that I've been sharing with you about your inner world and just overall successful weight loss, what it really takes to succeed with your weight, I've put together a 10-step cheat sheet. It's a very fast read. You can get that right now with an instant download for free at www.easyfunweightloss.com. www.easyfunweightloss.com. So why am I suggesting that you never give up on your weight loss desire? Well, let's go back to universal laws. Let's talk about energy. Let's talk about the fact that everything begins with a thought. Everything begins with a thought. Everything. Whether or not you're aware of your thoughts, that doesn't matter. Everything begins with a thought. And another universal law that all of us live under is once you have a desire for something, the universe fulfills it for you, but you don't see it. You don't see it, okay? It's not like you can just sit there and say, oh, I'm 20 pounds lighter, and then you're, 20 pounds lighter. No, things don't work like that. What you have to do is you have to take the physical action to line up, to match up with that result that the universe has already given you. So this might sound a little woo-woo, but we're talking about energy and we're talking about why, actually, this is why you feel so distressed and so frustrated and so uncomfortable with this whole topic that you haven't achieved yet, okay? If you were already in alignment with your dream, with your weight loss, with your ideal body, then you wouldn't feel upset. You wouldn't be struggling. You wouldn't feel disappointed. You obviously would have to take the action to get to where you want to go, and that is what takes the longest amount of time. The actual process of releasing the fat, because healthy weight loss occurs over time. You can't have instant gratification if you want to lose weight. It takes time. 1 to 2 pounds of fat per week. If you're dropping that per week, you're doing great. So that's going to take time, especially it will take longer if you have more to lose. All right? So everybody wants everything right now, right now, right now. And I've done some podcasts about this. You can search in the JoLynn Braley Show for instant gratification. It's a big problem. And if you keep looking for instant gratification and you get disappointed because you don't instantly lose 5 5, 10, 20 pounds, you're not going to get to your goal weight. It's not going to happen because it takes time. But here's the thing is, if you have your energy lined up, if you take that inner journey and you become a match on the inside to what you say you want on the outside, then that whole thing of instant gratification is gone. You don't feel impatient if you are already thin within. And then you just have to keep walking the path, living a healthy lifestyle, allowing that fat to come off, and enjoy the journey. But back to this issue of giving up and why you should never give up. You obviously have a desire that you have not given up on because you're listening to me talk right now. You have this desire to lose weight. The universe has already given it to you, but you don't see it because you haven't walked that path yet to allow that fat to come off. Why haven't you walked the path? Because why? Why? Are you struggling with emotional eating, binge eating, low self-esteem, low self-confidence? You don't believe that you deserve it. You don't believe you're worth it. It could be any number of challenges. It could be 20, 30, 40 different things. This is a complex issue. And when it comes down to it, the actual process of weight loss is not rocket science. You need to change what you're eating, change how much you're eating, and you need to get regular exercise. But 92.8% of this is your mindset. It's your inner world. It's what's going on right between your own two ears. And if you don't address that, then you're really kicking yourself in the foot or shooting yourself in the foot before you even get started, because you can only go so far by forcing yourself to do a diet when on the inside you are still an energetic match to your overweight self, to the overeating, to your comfort foods, to your lifestyle of using food to feel better. And you know what? I have no argument that food is highly addictive. Highly processed food is highly addictive. And there is a chemical component to it that gives you a high. It gives you a boost. It actually affects your body chemistry. I totally get it. I've totally been through it. But if you don't change your lifestyle, how are you ever going to get that weight off, and how will you keep it off? Because short-term dieting doesn't work. I mean, it can work short-term to get, take off some pounds, but it won't keep the weight off, And I guess that you could try to force yourself into a lifestyle and, try to force yourself from the outside in to lose the weight and keep it off. But how many times have you already tried that? How many times have you gotten to your goal weight and you gained it all back? You know why you gained it back? Because the inner and the outer always match. The inner and the outer always match. So if you become thin on the outside, but on the inside, you're still your old self who binges on Twinkies and eats a half gallon of ice cream in one sitting, the inner and the outer always match. So you can only go so far in that weight loss journey before you snap back. You know what I mean, Jean? It doesn't mean that you aren't smart enough. It doesn't mean that you don't know enough. I mean, millions of women out there already know how to lose weight. Why are there so many who are obese? It's a big problem. And there are some that have given up on it now. And then they're trying to get others to agree with them that obesity is healthy. We all know it's not. Of course it's not healthy. But the thing is, what I was sharing a few minutes ago about this desire to get to your goal weight and how it can make you feel so frustrated because you have this desire but you're not reaching it, that is because it's already been delivered to you in the non-physical. And again, this might sound woo-woo, but this is why you feel so irritated. If it wasn't possible for you to reach your goal weight, then you wouldn't feel irritated and you really would just give up because there would be no contrast. But because it is possible and because it's already been given to you in the energetic world and you haven't done the steps, you haven't taken the path, you haven't done the work to match up to it physically, that's why you feel so irritated. So I strongly suggest that you never give up on it, but if you are going to get this weight off and keep it off, you're going to have to address your inner self. You're going to have to heal your relationship with food. You're going to have to take that inner journey. Does this make any sense? If you'd love to have help with that, if it makes sense to you but you have no idea how to do it, which would be true because food diets have never been able to help you with this, and they're not supposed to help you with it. That's not their job. And then there's the problem that you can't see your own blind spots. None of us can. And then there's the problem that, I've had a lot of clients who've come to me and they say in the beginning, they say, I'm really positive. I'm really positive and I'm really happy. And I don't see why I'm having such a problem with changing and losing weight. And then we get into it over time. And then they start to see, oh, wow, now I see my negative beliefs, how those were holding me back. I see what was in my way, but I was never able to see it on my own. That's the stuff that you have to get to if you want to get out of your own way, if you want to get into the struggle-free zone, if you want to really get to your goal weight for good. The inner and the outer always match. And you know what? That's not my rule. That's actually, like I said before, that's universal law, which is bigger than you. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than all of us. You either learn how to work with it or you continue to fight against it. And you fight either consciously or unconsciously. Now you are conscious of it. Before, you might have been unconscious of it, but now you know and you have some awareness of it. So it's up to you if you're going to do something about it. And if you do want to do something about it and you want the fastest path to solve this so that you can get into that struggle-free zone where it is no big deal for you to live a healthy lifestyle, where it's no big deal for you to get that weight off, and where you don't feel deprived anymore. That's really important. In fact, before we end here, I just want to share a quick snippet with you from one of my coaching clients who graduated my proven step-by-step system, and she used to struggle for, it was 25 or 30 years. I'm forgetting now. It was a long time. She was struggling with binge eating. And I asked her if she still feels deprived, because that was a big problem for her in the past. Just listen to this very short snippet here. And if you want to hear her full interview, I will include it in the blog post that goes along with this podcast. And the way that you can find that is to go to fearlessfatloss.com/blog and then type in the search bar 609 and you'll be able to find the blog post, and I will include, like I said, her full interview in that post. So let's listen to a snippet right now.
And it's getting to be automatic at this point. Yeah, all aspects of my life are going better now. I just feel better.
Good. And one last question.
Mm-hmm.
You've had this transformation in your body, obviously in your mind, at the root of things. You've released this 30-year-old problem where you were binging out of control and all of this. I want to know, though, and I'm sure that the woman listening right now wants to hear this too. But do you feel deprived at all, Holly?
No.
Do you feel deprived in your eating?
No. I feel, in my eating, I feel fine. It's just kind of not an issue. I don't know how to explain it. It's, I got to tell you, I'm in a hotel, and they just brought in a plate of chocolates and cookies.
Mm-hmm.
I walked around. I've been here for a couple of hours. I have not even thought about eating them. That is weird for me.
Mm-hmm.
That is weird. And so, it's not an issue. It's not an issue, and that's the truth. And in my personal life, I just feel rich. I feel happy. I feel rich. I feel really good. But yeah, the food, just not an issue. And so I guess, no, I don't feel deprived. It's not an issue. I enjoy what I eat, but it's not, everything I think about all day long, like I have in the past. Planning everything about what I was going to eat and then how I was going to replace it so no one would know that I was eating it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so isn't that cool? I mean, imagine if you could get to that place where you don't feel deprived and it's just not an issue. I know it can sound totally unbelievable right now, but that's only because if you're in a place of great struggle, that's the only reason that it sounds so unbelievable right now. It's just because of where you're at. So the key is, if you really want to conquer this problem once and for all, you need to take the inner self journey to change your relationship with yourself, with your body, with food, with your eating. Become thin within, become healthy within, become self-loving within. And guess what? The more love you have for yourself, the more love you have for others. How can you give away what you don't already have? All right? Is any of this making sense? The food diets can't give you this. This is why I do the work that I do with my awesome coaching clients in the inner self diet. I've been doing this work. I've been leading them through my proven step-by-step system to struggle-free weight loss in 8 weeks or less. That's where you get into the struggle-free zone. You don't feel restricted. You don't feel like you're missing out. It just feels like it's not any big deal anymore. I've been doing this work since 2009. I've never seen it fail, but it will definitely, absolutely fail if you don't take the journey, if you don't do the steps, if you don't do your homework. Nothing is going to change if you don't do something different. We all agree, right? It's not enough just to listen to me talk. It's not enough just to get like a pep talk from me. How will that translate to any real transformation in your life? If you'd love to have help with this, if you'd love to break free like Holly did, if you want to stop this struggle, if you want to stop binge eating, stop emotional eating, stop yo-yo dieting, if you want to actually lose weight for good, and you want to get into that struggle-free zone in 8 weeks or less, then go to www.discovery-session.com, complete an application for a complimentary weight loss discovery session with me. That is your first step towards freedom from the struggle. www.discovery-session.com. I'm JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, founder of the Inner Self Diet, the diet that you need if you really want to lose weight for good. I wish you your best life living inside of your ideal body. Never give up on it.